Make the ground shake.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Gummy, and today we are here with another statue to show on the second channel. Today we are doing another FNAF World character. Today we are doing Funtime Foxy. So this is really similar to the original Mangle statue I did. There's going to be a few adjustments, like a few updates to make it look a bit better and a bit more like the original character. So it's a bit more of a coincidence. Originally, when I made the Mangle statue on my main channel like over a year ago, it actually turned out looking a lot like the current Funtime Foxy. Now, Funtime Foxy and the original Mangle, of course, are completely different. But when I made the tutorial, because I was stubborn and also a tad like scared almost of doing broken Mangle, I did a fixed Mangle, an unbroken Mangle, a SFM Mangle, like a basic animation model of Mangle. And that turned out to be Funtime Foxy, but I called it Mangle because it was like an unbroken version of Mangle, if that makes any sense. But yeah, this one is really similar because essentially it's the same character. However, I didn't know it at the time. So there are a few differences, of course, and that's what we're going to be working on today, is updating it, I guess, and making it look a tad nicer. But with that said, I do hope you enjoy it, and if you do, definitely consider leaving a like and subscribing if you're new to the channel, and let's get straight into the tutorial. So the blocks you're going to need are the following. You'll need magenta wool, white wool, black wool, red wool, sandstone clay, block of quartz, and of course yellow wool. If you're on console, a map is handy. It's a nice little trick. I can show you that later on in the video. But if you're on PC, simply just press F3 and it works just as well. So with that said, find a nice empty area and start building. So we're going to start off with the legs. The legs are 12 tall and 8 wide. We're going to start off on the first layer, which is 1 magenta, 1 white wool, 1 magenta, 2 white wool, magenta, white, magenta. So that is 8 wide. Now the second layer is the exact same. So magenta, white, magenta, white, white, magenta, white, magenta. So again, 8 wide, and it's currently 2 tall. The third and fourth layer is 8 white wool. So again, it's now 4 tall, 8 wide. And the fifth layer is 8 black wool. So that's essentially the feet. Again, currently 5 blocks tall and 8 blocks wide. So next what we're going to do is we're going to place 3 layers of 8 white wool. And now we're moving more into like the pelvis area where the animatronic is, or the endoskeleton lines on the animatronic is. So the next line, the next row, is 3 white wool, 2 magenta, 3 white wool. The next row is 2 white wool, 4 magenta, 2 white wool. The next row is 8 magenta, and then the next row is the exact same, so again 8 magenta. And once you've done that, it will look like this. Now that is 12 tall and 8 wide. Again, just to go over it, we got 2 layers of magenta and white, 2 layers of white, a layer of black, 3 layers of white, and then of course 2 layers of magenta white, 2 layers of magenta. Just to prove it to you, as I said here, this is a good tip. If you're on PC, press F3 rather than using a map. So you can see here my Y coordinate at the top center part of the map. If I go down, the number goes down. If I go up, the number goes up. So if I stand on floor level, in my case that is Y5. Yours might be different, so please factor that in. What I'm going to do is add 12 onto my Y coordinate. So my Y coordinate is 5, I'm going to add 12 on, that's 17. So if I come to the top of what we've built so far, I'm looking for Y17. As you can see here, Y17. Perfect. So again, if yours is say Y10, you're looking for 12 above that, Y22. Do not go on the basis yours is Y5 unless you've checked. So don't be looking for Y17 if yours is say like Y10, your floor level, because then your statue is only going to be 7 tall, not 12 tall, and it will look completely messed up and awful. So again, factor in what your floor level is and add 12 onto your floor level, not mine. So with that said, that is the legs complete. That is 12 tall and 8 wide. If you want to pause, you can, but I will come back later on in the video and give you a more in-depth, I guess, spin around where you can pause and know all the widths and stuff like that. So what we're going to do now is start the body. So we're going to start off by placing a row of 8 white wool. So on top of the magenta wool, we're going to place a row of 8 white wool. To the left of this, we're going to go 1 white wool, 1 magenta, 2 white wool. That is the left hand, so it comes out 4 blocks from the side of the body. And we're not going to work on it now, but it's just to mark it out for later. For the right side, what we're going to do is go 4 to the right using black wool, and this is where the hook is going to be. So on the left, it's 1 white wool, magenta, 2 white wool, and on the right, it is 4 black wool. And again, it extends 4 to the left, 4 to the right, and that is the start of the hands. However, we'll not be working on them right now. We'll come back to that later on in the video. So continuing with the body now, we're going to start off here. So we ignore this 4 block overhang. We're going to start here. We place 2 white wool, 4 magenta, 2 white wool. From this magenta here, we're going to go up diagonal to left and to right, and it will give you what looks like the bottom part of a smiley face. We're then going to go up 6 blocks from here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to go up diagonal, so we go to side, and then up diagonal on either side. So again, to repeat that, side in, so on the left side we go 1 to the right, on the right side we go 1 to the left, and we go up diagonal and up diagonal, and it will link together and give you something that looks like this. Now what you could do, which I guess is what I was explaining before, is you could simply just go up diagonal from here, and it will give you something that looks like this. It looks a bit more neater, I guess. So that is 7 tall and 4 wide. However, if you put a block in each corner, it would be 9 tall and 6 wide. So that's something to factor in. It's essentially a 9 by 6 with a block out of each corner, and I'm like pointing my finger in the air here, but you can't see it, so just let you guys know that I'm doing that for some weird reason. Anyways, what we're going to do is fill this in using magenta wool, so just fill in the whole area using magenta wool, and then we're going to surround it with white wool, so essentially finish up the rest of the body by placing white wool. So, what we're going to do is either side of this magenta block here, we're going to place 1 white wool. Then on top of it, we're going to place 2 layers of 6 white wool, and that will bring you up to the top of the statue. So that should currently be 24 blocks off the floor. If I come to the top, you should be looking for Y29 in my case. Again, 24 blocks from your floor level. So yours might not be Y29, but mine is. So 24 blocks from floor level. What we're then going to do is on the left and right side, we're going to build up 10 using white wool. And that will bring you up to the same height as what we've just built. And that will give you your 12 by 8 rectangle. As you can see here, that's what it looks like from this white wall here to the white wall up there is a 12 by 8. And if you want to pause, again, you're more than welcome to. What we're going to go ahead and do is add a bow tie though. So Funtime Foxy's bow tie is red. So what we're going to do is come up to this magenta wall here, the top strip of 4. And we're going to place 1 red wall on the left, 1 on the right. If you went to the side and up diagonal, rather than just straight up diagonal, it would be the white wall that would be here. So there's a 2 block gap from the left, 2 block gap from the right, and 2 block gap from the top, and you've got 2 red wool. That's a lot of 2s. What we're then going to do is go up 2, and on the left side we're going to place 2 to the left, on the right side we're going to place 2 to the right. And it will give you almost like a 9 and a backwards 9. Oh, a 9 and a P. That's probably the better way of putting it. Then what we're going to do is on the lower segment, so not the top one, but the lower segment of this 2x2 square, we're going to go 2 to the right, and link them together like so, and that is your red bow tie. If you really wanted to add a bunch of detail, you could go ahead and punch out a block here, and you could put a red stained clay, and it would look a tiny bit more detailed, but it doesn't really matter that much because it's not something you'd really notice. So that's what it looks like so far. That is the front of the body complete. What we're now going to do is the front of each arm. So we're going to start off on the left arm. Now the arm is 12 tall and 4 wide, and we're going to go up layer by layer. So the first layer, so you come to the 13th layer on the build, go 4 blocks out to the left if you haven't already done that, but you should have earlier on in the video, just in case you haven't. Again, 13th layer of the build, 4 blocks out to the left, 1 white wool, 1 magenta, 2 white wool. The second layer, from left to right, is 1 white wool, 2 magenta, 1 white wool. The next layer is 4 white wool. The fourth layer is 4 black wool. The next 3 layers is 4 white wool. We then have a layer of 4 black wool, and then 4 layers of white wool, and that will bring you up to the same height as the rest of the body, and it will look like this. So again, to go over it, ignoring that the magenta is there, let's factor in that it is there, but let's pretend it's not. Essentially, it's 12 by 4. The first 3 rows is white wool, a row of black, 3 rows of white, row of black, and then 4 rows of white. So it's really, really simple. And then you've just got this small bit of magenta down the bottom, which represents the hand/fingers. So that is the left arm complete. Again, very, very simple. The right arm, Slightly different at the bottom side, but then once you get up, it's like the same white, black, white. So the first row, which is of course on the 13th layer of the build, in case you haven't already done it, 4 blocks to the right. On top of this, we're going to place 4 more black. On top of this, 4 white, 4 black, and then now we're in the pattern of the other side. So we have 3 rows of white, so 3 rows of 4 white, a row of black, and then 4 rows of 4 white. That will come up to the same height as the top of the body and will look like this. So essentially what you can see is the right arm is the exact same as the left arm, apart from the magenta and the 2 bottom rows of white is in fact black on the right arm. So you can swap this over, you can have the black on the left and magenta on the right. It doesn't really matter. Again, it's more to represent the hook, which is on one of the hands, but you can decide which one you want to put it on. With that said, that is what the statue looks like so far. You'll notice an uncanny, similarity to the Tangle statue that we did not too long ago, and that is because it's basically the same character. It's Funtime Foxy, but green. So this is, again, a very, very similar build. So what we're going to do now, you can see here, this is the front of the body, looking awfully nice, 24 tall, 16 wide, 8 wide. If you have not built the arms, I'm not sure why you haven't built the arms, but hey ho. What we're going to do is start working on the sides and making this 3D. So we're going to come to the bottom left corner here, to this magenta wall, come around to the left side and expand backwards 1, 2, 3, like so. Now the side of the leg is a 12 by 4. However, this row here is the 4th block, so we're only placing 3 blocks on each row. So 3 plus 1 equals 4, and that is our 12 by 4. So the first 4 layers is white wool. We've already done the first, so we do 4 layers of 3 white. That's the first one done. Second, third, and 4th. On top of that, we're going to place 3 black wool. 5 layers of 3 white wool. And then 2 layers of 3 magenta wool. And that is your 12 by 4 complete. From the side, it looks like this, and then from the left angle, it looks like that. As you can see, again, it is 12 tall, 4 wide, and the first 4 layers, if you ignore those 2 magenta, is 4 white wool. Then we have a layer of black wool, 5 layers of white wool, and then 2 layers of magenta. Now, the good news is, the other side, the right side, is the exact same. So if you want to skip ahead, be a Speedy Gonzales, you are more than welcome to do so. However, I will talk you guys through it nevertheless, in case you want it. So, coming around to the right side now, what we're going to do is expand 1, 2, 3 backwards, and again, similar to the other side, it is a 12 by 4. It's like an L shape this time, not a backwards L. This is the 4th row, so we're only placing 3 blocks on each row. So the first 4 layers is 3 white wool. So again, 4 layers of 3 white wool. That's including the one that we placed earlier, so it's the one we placed earlier plus 3. On top of this, we're going to place 3 black wool, and then 5 layers of white wool, and then 2 layers of magenta. Again, that will give you a 12 by 4 that looks something like this. And then from the side angle, it looks like this. As you can see, it's starting to take shape and looking really, really nice. So that is the side of the legs complete. What we're going to do now is the side of the arms. So we're going to come around to the rear of the statue, starting on the back of the right arm. We're going to come to the bottom area where the black wool is and expand 1, 2, 3 backwards all the way across using black wool. If you come below, you'll notice it is a 4 by 4 square of black wool. And we're going to do the exact same for the back of the left arm. However, we're going to use white wool this time. So we go 1, 2, 3 all the way across. And it will give you a 4 by 4 square of white wool minus this pesky magenta right there. And that is the bottom of the left arm. So you should be presented with something that looks like this. You've got a base. And then if we come around to the left side, again, it's your backwards L. So, again, similar to the legs, it is a 12 by 4. 12 tall, 4 wide. However, this is the 4th block, and that's the first row. So we're only placing 11 rows and 3 blocks on each row. So, the first 3 layers is white wool. Again, that's the first one. Second and third. The 4th layer is 3 black wool. We then have 3 layers of white wool, a layer of black wool, and then 4 layers of white wool. And that will bring you up to the same height as the top of the body. Again, that will give you a 12 by 4. And just to go over it one last time, that is 3 layers of white wool, 1 layer of black wool, 3 layers of white wool, 1 layer of black wool, and 4 layers of white wool. Again, from a side angle, it looks like this. So, other side, very, very similar. Only slight difference is that there's actually 2 layers of black wool instead of white at the bottom. So we come around to the right side. Again, 12 by 4. This is the 4th block. So 3 blocks on each row. So the first 2 layers, which is this one and this one, we're going to place 3 black wool. On top of that, 3 white, 3 black, and then we go to our normal pattern as same as the other side. So the next 3 layers is white wool. So we have a 3x3 block of white wool, which turns into a 4x3 once it connects up with this side block here. 3 black wool, and then 4 layers of white wool, which will bring you up to the top layer in line with the top of the statue. And that's what it looks like from the right side. So what we can go ahead and do now is go ahead and add the hook. So the hook is out of sand-stained clay. Now, I mentioned this in the Tangle tutorial, that there's 2 ways you can go about doing it. So we're going to come to the right hand, or whichever hand you've made black, because you could have made the left hand black and the right hand magenta. We're going to come to the front side, to the top left corner. We go down diagonal, place a cyan and 1 to the right. So essentially, in the second from front row, on the second and third block, we're going to place 2 cyan-stained clay. Underneath this, we're going to place 2 more, so it's now a 2x2 of cyan-stained clay. Now what we're going to do is come around to the rear of the statue, so we're facing this way, but from the rear side. We're going to go down 1 and forwards, and we're going to do this on both sides, so down, forwards. We're going to punch out the down part, so we just have the forwards, and it kind of curves like this. Now this is where you can kind of like customize it based on what you want. So you can either bring it back 2 blocks like so, and then have it go up diagonal like this. That's hook option number 1. Personally though, what I like more is if you don't have it coming forwards 1, and you just have it hook upright like this. So down 2, down diagonal, up diagonal, and it looks like this. Now the reason why I don't like it extended backwards 1 block like that is it kind of comes out the back of the statue, and if you're looking down you can see it like overhanging, but I guess some of you guys might like that, so it's up to you. Feel free to use whichever design you want. Personally, I prefer this one. So that is the hook complete. From a side angle it looks like this, from the front angle this, and from the rear angle this. So with that said, that is the hook done. We're now going to come around to the rear of the statue, which we're kind of already here, and be presented with a bit of a mess by the fact that it's not done. So that's what we're going to work on now, is filling it in. So it's really, really simple. The majority of it is plain colouring. So starting off with the back of the legs, it is again a 12x8. However, this row here plus this row here equals 2, so we're only placing 6 blocks on each row. So starting off at the bottom, the first 4 rows is 6 white wool. On top of that, we're going to do a layer of black wool. We're then going to do 3 layers of white wool. So 3 layers of 6 white wool. And then similar to what we did at the front side, you can see here, we're going to match it. So the next layer is 2 white, 2 magenta, 2 white. Just back up to give you a view. The next layer is 1 white, 4 magenta, 1 white. And then the final 2 layers is 6 magenta, and that will bring you up to the top of the legs, and that will give you a 12x8. As you can see here, that is the back of the legs. If you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so. So for the back of the body, and this is where things get really, really simple, it's simply a 12x8 of white wool. So all we're going to do is just build up 12. I'm going to take a guess, and a good tip to point out is that it's going to be the same height as the front. So all you really need to do is build across the front. So build backwards the front 3 blocks all the way across using your white wool, and just bring it up to the same height. That's probably the easiest way of making sure it's correct. Alternatively, you could count or use the map trick, whatever you want to do. But again, if the front side is correct, all you got to do is just bring it backwards 3, and that will be the correct height. So again, all it is a 12x8 of white wool, and theoretically, I guess Funtime Foxy does have a tail. However, we're not going to be adding that in this tutorial purely because we're going on the fact that it's a skin statue and a skin model, and the tail is going to be a bit of a pain to build. But if you do want a tail, because I didn't do this in the Tangle statue tutorial either, if you do want a tail, please do let me know and I'll try and work one up, and I'll do like a separate tutorial of how to build a tail for the Foxy characters. I say Foxy quote unquote because it's more Tangle Funtime Foxy. And there's another one which I completely forgot their name, but I'm going to move on. So again, let me know down in the comments below. So anyways, what we're going to do now is the back of the arms. So we're going to start on the back of the right arm. In this case, it's our left. And again, it's just a case of matching up. So whichever block is at the left side is what block we're going to place. So again, it is a 12x4. This is our 4th block. We're only placing 3 blocks in each row, and as I just said, it's a case of matching. So the first 2 rows is 3 black wool. We then have a row of white wool, row of black wool, and then 3 layers of white, layer of black, and then 4 layers of white. And that'll bring you up to the top of the body. Go ahead and fill the shoulders in using white wool. And that is the back of your right arm. Again, very, very simple. 2 layers of black, 1 layer of white, 1 layer of black, 3 layers of white, 1 layer of black, 4 layers of white. And that is a 12 by 4 in total. Coming around to the other side now. The back of the left arm, in this case our right arm, again 12 by 4, matching up the sides. So the first 3 layers is white wool, layer of black, 3 layers of white wool, layer of black, and then 4 layers of white wool. If my block placement wasn't so awful, that would have been really, really easy. Then fill in the shoulders using white wool, and again it will look like this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of my arm, and we're going to have a little spin around. I'm going to give you guys ample opportunity to pause and catch up in this segment, so please do not worry. So what I'm going to do in this segment is I'm going to come to a specific part of the statue, for example, the front of the legs. I'm going to say, this is the front of the legs. It is 12 tall, 8 wide. If you want to pause, please feel free to do so. However, I'm not going to say that every time, because if you heard me say, if you want to pause, please feel free to do so. 12 times, you're going to, it's going to do your head in, and it's going to do my head in. So I'm going to go on the basis. I'll give you 2 or 3 seconds pause in the video. If you want any longer, feel free to hit the pause button on the actual video itself. I guess that's the power of video. It's great. You can pause, and then when you're ready to move on, feel free to play the video. It means essentially I don't have to stare at the same thing for 10 minutes ready for you guys to build it. So again, this is the front of the legs, 12 by 8. We have the front of each arm, 12 by 4, and the front of the body, which is 12 by 8, of course with the 3D bow tie. Coming around to the left side, we have the left side of the leg, which is 12 by 4. The left side of the arm, again 12 by 4. We have the right side of the leg, 12 by 4, and the right side of the arm, 12 by 4. Next, we have the hook, which is, of course, looking like this. It's kind of hard to describe the measurements. I guess it's a 2 by 2, down diagonal 2 by 1, up diagonal 2 by 1. Coming around to the rear side now. The rear side of the leg, 12 by 8. The rear side of the body, 12 by 8, and the rear side of each arm, 12 by 4. With the top of the body here, the shoulders, which is 16 by 4. And with that said, that is the statue so far. That is the body. So, if you want to pause the video at any point there, feel free to do so. But now what we're going to do is move on to the head. So, for the head, what we're going to do is come around to the front side. We're already here. That's convenient. And we're going to come to the top left corner. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. And on the 5th block, we're going to place a white wool and bring it 2 forwards. We're now going to do the exact same on the right side. So we head over to the right side and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on the 5th block we place a white wool, bring it 2 forwards. What we're going to do, there should be a 6 block gap in between. We're going to place 1 white wool, 4 magenta, and 1 white wool on the first layer, and then on the second layer we're going to place 1 white wool, 1 magenta, 2 red wool, magenta, and 1 white wool. And that will give you an 8 by 2 overhang. As you can partially see here, the bow tie is blocking it just a tad. And then what we're going to do is come around to the side of the statue and expand it backwards 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and same on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're then going to link them together using white wool, and that gives us again another 8 by 2 overhang. That is the rear side. And overall that will give you an 8 by 8 square, which looks like this. Now that is going to be the template for the head. So this is going to be front side, left side, right side, rear side, and of course we're going to start on the front side, aka the face. So the first layer of the face is 2 white wool, 1 magenta, 2 red, 1 magenta, 2 white wool. The next layer is 2 white wool, 1 black, 2 white wool, 1 black, 2 white wool. The next 2 layers is 8 white wool. Now we will be putting a nose/mouth on top, so as a 3D effect, but for now we'll just put white wool. The next layer, which is the 5th layer, is 1 magenta, 1 yellow wool, 1 black wool, 2 white, 1 black, 1 yellow, 1 white. Oh, sorry, 1 magenta, not 1 white. The second layer of the eyes is 1 magenta, 1 white, 1 yellow, 2 white, yellow, white, magenta. The next layer is 3 magenta, 2 white, 3 magenta, and the final layer is 8 white wool. And once you've done that, it looks something like this, and that looks super weird. However, we will be again adding a nose/mouth, and it will make it look a lot better. But for now, that is an 8x8 square, and if you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so. So, as I was saying, this mouth/nose we're going to add, we're going to come to the left corner underneath this first magenta block here, and we're going to place a red wool, and we're going to do the exact same on the right side. From here, we're going to place 1 white wool underneath, go 1 to the right. On the right side, we're going to go down, and to the left one, placing white wool. Then what we're going to do is we're going to place 1 magenta on either side, and in between place 2 red wool, and it will look like this. It's starting to kind of look like a bit of a moustache, like a really weird one though. Next, what we're going to do is on top of this, we're going to place 1 white wool, 1 magenta, 2 black, magenta, 1 white wool, and it will give you an 8x2 area which looks like this. All that's left to do now is add the teeth. There's 4 in total. So the first one, on the left side, we come to the second block and we place 1 underneath. We then come to 2 red and place 2. And then again, on the second to last block, we place 1 underneath. And that is our 4 quartz teeth. And as you can see, it's starting to look a lot nicer. And one thing I really do like about this is like the white wool on the eyes kind of makes it look like it's glistening a bit, which is super cool. And yeah, that is the front of the face complete. If you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so. So the good news is the other sides of the head are really easy. So we just come around to the left side, and all we're going to do is follow round the template of the head, building up 7 white wool from the base plates. This is the base plate, this is our first block. We build up 7, and it will give us an 8x8 square if we do this all the way. So we do this on every side, so we work our way all the way around the back of the head, and also round to the right side, and it will link up to the right side of the face, and it will give you all the surfaces of the head you're going to need, apart from the top side, which we'll focus on in a second, which again is really easy. And then it's just our 3D effects for the ears, and that is the statue complete. This is pretty much a home run from here. It's really simple and shouldn't take any effort at all. So we're nearly back round to the right side of the face now, and I'll show you what it should be looking like. So this is the right side. Again, that is an 8x8 square, minus that little 3D effect at the front. Then we have the rear side, which is an 8x8 of white wool. The left side, which again is an 8x8 minus that 3D effect. And then for the top side, we're going to go ahead and fill it in using solid white wool. And that is essentially the head complete, but we're going to add 2 ears as 3D effects. So right now, as you can see, it looks a bit weird without the ears. It looks a bit plain. It looks a bit empty at the top. So that's why we're going to add the ears. So what we're going to do is come to the front side, come to the top left corner of the head, and we're going to count 1, 2, and on the third and fourth block on the left and on the right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to place 2 cyan stained clay. Now above that, we're going to start with the left one first, then we'll do the right one. Above it, we're going to place 2 white wool. To the left of that, we're going to place 1 white wool, and in front of it, 1 magenta. So it looks like this currently. Below, we're going to place 2 white wool, so it's now a 2x2 square, or a 2x2 cube. Then what we're going to do is essentially surround the magenta. So we go to the left, up, to right, and it looks like this. And we're going to do the exact same on the rear side, so it's 3 blocks in total. So we go to the side, up, to left, and it gives you a shape which looks like this. Next, what we're going to do is replicate this on the other ear. So we're going to go 2 blocks of white wool above the cyan. To right of that, we're going to place 1 white wool, and forwards 1 magenta. Underneath that, we're going to place 2 white wool, and then we're going to surround our magenta. So we go up, to right, down, and then we go around to the rear side and copy it. So up, to side, and down. And it will give you 2 shapes which look like this. That is both the ears. I'll zoom in on the left one and then the right one. Again, it's a set back 2 blocks, and the magenta is only on the front side, not on the rear side. So on the rear side, it is simply plain white wool. But anyways, that is the statue complete, and that is the tutorial as well. So what I'm going to do is get rid of my arm and all the stuff in my hotbar, and we're going to have a quick spin around the head whilst I talk a bit about what I'm going to be doing on the channel and the main channel, which has got some really cool stuff coming up. So if you did enjoy this, definitely consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the second channel if you haven't already. Again, I do weekly bonus tutorials on here for FNAF World characters. I'll probably be doing the FNAF World sister location characters on here, as well as the pop vinyl videos and that general cool stuff. With that said, also on the main channel, I've got a bunch of content coming out. I've got a Markiplier one and a Jacksepticeye statue that have just come out, and they're doing really, really well. The support on that's great. So if you want to check them out, feel free to do so. I've also got another restaurant tutorial coming out in the very near future. And yeah, I really do hope you enjoy them. But apart from that, that is all I've got time for today. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, my name has been Tommy Gummy, and goodbye. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you?